afternoon, and I just got home from work, and I've stopped at home to make myself a little chai tea for my to-go mug. I was thinking the other day, I was thinking about how every time I show up to pick up Evelyn and Henry from kindergarten, I've got that mug in my hand, and I'm thinking, like, the other parents must think that, like, it's my third limb or something. It's, like, constantly attached to me. But something I don't understand is how or why I'm the only one who seems to need that afternoon caffeine. I mean, who are these people? Why don't they need the caffeine? I mean, maybe their kids don't get up at 4:30 in the morning like mine does. I really don't know. But anyway, for this Single Mom by Choice video, I was thinking about, tidying up my house. But I really just want to be honest with you guys. This is what my house looks like a lot of the time. My kid, for whatever reason, does not like to clean up after herself. I guess we could just say it's one of her flaws, is just being an absolute slob and having no regard for the state of the house. And, I can only do so much. When I'm rushing around on a Monday morning to pack her lunch, pack my lunch, get us both ready for the school and work day, I don't have time to be cleaning up her messes or even barking at her to clean up her messes. So all this damage was done in just one morning. Just one morning, folks. Anyway, it's something that we're working on, and I have a funny story, and then I'll stop talking for a minute. But the other day I had Evelyn's first parent-teacher conference with her kindergarten teachers, and they said all wonderful things about her. And when I got back from the meeting, Evelyn wanted to hear what they had to say, so I was telling her all the nice things that they said about her, But one of the things I said to her was, Ms. B, your teacher, told me that you're really good at cleaning up the classroom, and why can't you do that at home here too, sweetie? And she looked at me and she's like, Mom, I know you're lying. I know she didn't say that. And I'm like, well, how do you know she didn't say that, sweetie? I mean, aren't you very helpful at school? And she's like, no, I'm not. I don't clean at school, and I don't clean at home. I'm like, okay, well, at least she's consistent, and at least she's honest, I guess. Everyone, it's been a minute, or a few weeks, since I made one of my Single Mom by Choice videos, but I am back and here for episode 6 of my Single Mom by Choice series. For those of you who are new here, my name is Lindsay. I am a lesbian single mom by choice to my daughter Evelyn, who is 4.5 years old. Actually, she's inching closer to 5. She'll be 5 in February. And for those of you who are new, or anybody who wants to revisit old videos, I will put the links to all of them in the description. I want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed to this channel. If you're new here, I'd love for you to subscribe, stick around, be a part of this community, ask me any questions in the comments, or send me messages. I love to hear from viewers. And for those of you who have been here for a while, thank you, and thanks for being so patient while I was just busy working on other things, and I haven't had a chance to sit down and have a chat with what Evelyn calls my TV friends. For the most part, my life with Evelyn is very good. I'm happy. Having Evelyn on my own was absolutely the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. I have no reservations. And if you are in a place in your life where you feel like you're ready, or you're thinking about getting ready to have a child, I absolutely do recommend the Single Mom by Choice path. It is something that I do not regret, and my other choice mom friends also speak of not regretting it, and kind of the only regret they have is, why did I wait so long to do this? Because once you do it, it's, you just love having your little person. Anyway, I love my life with Evelyn, and I'm happy that I did this on my own. But that being said, being a single mom by choice absolutely has its challenges. And so that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the challenges of being a single parent, an only parent. My challenges are probably a little bit different than challenges that single parents who have gone through a divorce or separation have, simply because I don't have another co-parent. I don't have to share custody of my child, but that also means that I don't have anybody else sharing the expenses and the making weighty decisions with me. Anyway, we'll get to all that. But I'm speaking as a single mom by choice and only parent, and so I just kind of wanted to sit down and chat with you guys about some of the challenges that I've had from babyhood until now. I have made notes for myself on my computer, so if you find my eyes doing this, it's just because I'm just checking to make sure I haven't missed anything. Believe it or not, and I'm sure you actually do believe it, I'm not actually a very good off-the-cuff speaker. So my challenges as a single mom by choice, there are some small ones and there are some big ones. Let me start with a big one and an obvious one that probably everybody is aware of, and that is I struggle to find and make time for myself. Because I don't have any family around, if I want childcare, for the most part, I have to pay for it. My best friend oftentimes will keep my kid for me for a couple hours here and there. She did an overnight for Bria and I last weekend, which I don't think I'll ever be able to repay her for. But by and large, if I want to have some time to myself, I have to pay a babysitter, or I have to take a mental health day off from work so that I can carve out that time for myself and make sure that I'm taking care of me. So if I want big chunks of time, that's what I have to do. I have to either pay someone or I have to take a day off. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't do that a lot. So what I've found that I need to do is just find time or find ways to take care of myself in smaller ways, whether that be getting off of social media and reading my book, or going for a massage on my lunch break at work, or just kind of giving myself a night off from the housekeeping. Something like that is just, it's self-care that I think every parent should do, because what's that, something from an empty well. You can't drink from an empty well. And if I'm not taking care of me and nobody else is, I'm not going to be able to take care of my child at the best capacity, or in the way that I should be and in the way that she deserves. So I've learned over the years that if I want to be the best version of myself as a mom, I need to take care of me. I think it's challenging as a single parent, especially one without a lot of family around, to find that time, but you really just got to make it. It's hard when your little one is really little, especially if you're breastfeeding and you can't get away for very long, or you don't want to, because it's really painful actually to be away from your baby when they're so tiny. But yeah, I find that making time for yourself is crucial. It's so important for your mental health, and it makes me a better mom. When I have time for me, when I've taken a couple hours or even a day off from work, for me, I am a much better mom to Evelyn. And so I do those things without guilt, without remorse. Take time for me, do something special for myself. I find is challenging as a single mom by choice is the finances. So I'm not rich. I'm very much in the middle class. I don't make a lot of money for living in a very expensive city, so money stuff sometimes does stress me out. And I often find myself thinking how much easier it would be if I had somebody else who was also bringing in an income, and how much more relaxed I could be around money, and maybe I could buy myself shirts without holes in them, you know what I mean? Like, the finances are definitely a big burden on me, and something that I worry about all the time. What if something happened to me and I can't work for a few months? Fortunately, I work for an incredible employer, but this is something to think about if you're thinking about becoming a single mom by choice, your finances. So I live in Canada, and I got a year off from work for my maternity leave, and the government of Canada does subsidize your income. I think I got something like $1,500 a month from the government of Canada. I got the maximum allowed at the time when Evelyn was a baby, but that certainly didn't pay all my bills because it's very expensive to live in Toronto. And so I had, for the whole year before, my whole year of my pregnancy, essentially, or 9 months, you know what I mean, I saved money. I saved as much money as I could so that I could just dip into my savings throughout that year that I had off, so that I wouldn't have to be worrying about money so much. And as it turns out, babies are actually pretty cheap when you breastfeed and cloth diapers, so I didn't really have a whole lot of parenting expenses at the time. The biggest expense for me as a single mom is absolutely childcare, and so when Evelyn was in daycare, a big chunk of my income went to childcare expenses. Something else I find challenging as a single parent, as a solo mom, is I don't have anybody else to say, you know what, I'm having a terrible day, this is her third meltdown of the day, I can't do this anymore, please, I'm going to go for a walk, clear my head, and you take her for now. I don't have that, and I cannot tell you how many times I've had to dig so deep inside of myself to find patience that I never knew I had, mid-meltdown or through a rough day where, things just don't seem to be going okay. And when I don't have anybody to say, tag, you're it, it's been very hard. Now, at the same time, it has also taught me a lot about myself and my own inner strength, so there is a positive to that, but I definitely have found myself in the past being jealous of people who have somebody to say, you know what, it's your turn to do this. I can't do it right now. So that is a big challenge. And, if you're not the most patient person in the world, I suggest maybe you learn how to be patient, teach yourself patience, because when you're an only parent, especially when your baby, your toddler, your small child who needs you for absolutely everything is constantly at your heels, you have to find patience every single day, even on the good days. Patience is something that I have to pull from constantly. And I can imagine that having a partner would probably be a lot easier on the days that you don't feel so patient or you're feeling tired and run down, the rough days. Something else that I also find challenging as a single mom are sick days, especially when I'm sick. I mean, when I'm sick, I still have to get up and go. I've had the stomach flu when I had the stomach flu when Evelyn was, I think, 3 weeks old. Fortunately, at the time, I had a best friend who came over and helped me take care of her. But a lot of the times when I've been sick, I don't have anybody to take her from me. And so, again, I have to dig deep. I have to get up. I have to push through and persevere and just do what I got to do when I'm sick. And I know that if I had a partner, I would be able to just lay on the couch, or I'd be able to sleep in or go to bed early to kind of get my body better. And you can't do that as a single parent. So I think that's another obvious one. Sick days as a single parent suck. And it's also difficult when your child has sick days because, it's exhausting to take care of somebody who's sick. Even when it's your little person who you love more than anyone else in the world, it's hard, especially because they're particularly needy and clingy and whiny when they're sick. And there's also the matter of sick days for your kid when you can't send them to daycare or school because they're sick, and you're the only parent. The only thing you have left to do is take the day off from work yourself as well, and that's challenging. One more thing. I read a lot about the emotional labor that women do, and just all the labor that we do that is invisible, like thinking about the grocery list, or thinking about how we need toilet paper or toothpaste, or you got to sign up for swim lessons by the 14th or she's not going to be able to swim. All those things reside in my head and my head only. Nobody else is going to remember that we need groceries. Nobody else is going to sign Evelyn up for swimming. And so being a single parent, you got to be on the ball. You do everything, absolutely everything. And I'm used to it now, so I can't imagine if I had help for these things, I would feel like it was Christmas Day. In fact, I actually say that to Brienne, my girlfriend, when she comes to visit. Like when she does my dishes or she packs Evelyn's lunch, it honest to God feels like Christmas for me because I have help that I don't usually have. So it is exhausting to have everything rest on your shoulders, absolutely everything. And that's why those self-care days are so, so important. Okay, so I talked about my challenges, what I face as a single parent, single mom by choice, without a co-parent. So I wanted to offer some tips and tricks for those of you who are either new at this parenthood gig or are thinking about becoming a solo mom. And, because I don't want to scare you, and there definitely are tips and ways to cope with these things. In addition to finding your own inner strength, don't be a martyr. Don't be a momter. I'm so clever, aren't I? Take a mental health day from work. Go get a pedicure for yourself. Whatever self-care looks like for you, do it, and do it guilt-free. Don't feel like you have to do everything all the time. I mean, you do, but give yourself off a couple hours just to clear that space in your head and just to sit back and relax. It does me worlds of good when I do it. Reach out and ask for help. I mean, I have to say that I am actually terrible at asking for help. I will do it to a very small handful of people, and even then it's like, I gotta ask for help, I don't want to, you know what I mean? And I find that this is a very common theme in all my single mom by choice friends. We all have trouble asking for help, and part of that is because we're worried about people saying, well, you chose to do this by yourself, so why should I help you, or what do you need help for? This is the choice you made. Now, that is a fear that a lot of my choice mom friends and I have talked about, but I actually have never heard anybody say that to me. I don't think that is a thought that goes through most people's minds when you ask them for help. What I've learned over the last few years is that when you ask for somebody for help, that actually makes them feel important, and most of the time, most people want to help. And so, ask for help. I found when Evelyn was a baby, when I was pregnant when Evelyn was a baby, everybody, all my friends said, oh, I'll do anything for you. You just tell me what you need me to do. Well, at that point in this whole single mom thing, I wasn't comfortable asking for help. What I really needed was for somebody to step in and say, hey, I brought you groceries. And that did happen sometimes. Again, that best friend who bailed me out when I was sick. I brought you groceries, or hey, I'm going to come over for a couple hours. Why don't you go lay down and have a nap? Friends like that are unicorns. Friends who take initiative and just do something without asking you are so rare. They're a treasure to behold. So what I'm trying to say is you have to ask. I found a lot of emotional support through online groups. My single mom by choice friends, particularly the ones for gay and lesbian, the queer community, those ones I find have been really helpful, especially when Evelyn was younger. I used to blog, and I found a community of other lesbian moms and single moms by choice through there, and so I formed friendships through that blog that I still have today. That's where I met my girlfriend, my future wife. I met her through that, and that I wasn't looking for love, but anyway, you know, you can get that emotional support that you need online if you want to. Emotional support is not something that I've ever lacked. I have a best friend who has a child who's 5 weeks younger than Evelyn. I have my mom who has been incredibly supportive and is always willing to listen to me. And so I've never lacked emotional support, but anytime I need to bounce an idea off somebody who completely gets my life, I might visit one of my online groups and ask a question. And my blog was cathartic, and it built community when I was pregnant and when I had Evelyn and when she was much younger. I've since closed it down. Don't beat yourself up on the hard days. If you've forgotten to pack her lunch and you've got to throw a peanut butter and jelly sandwich together when you're on your way out the door, or when you lose your temper and maybe throw a pillow across the room when your kid is having his 5th meltdown of the day, or just when you're not feeling your best and you've kind of laid around all day like a sloth while your kid spends too much time on the iPad, or whatever it may be, don't beat yourself up on those days. I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to talk about today. If you are a single parent watching this, I'd love to hear what your challenges are. Leave me a comment and let me know. Maybe I left something out, or maybe I haven't had an experience that one of you has had, and I'd love to hear about. I really love this YouTube community, especially those of you who watch the Single Mom by Choice series. I find you women and men, there are a couple men, I find you all very supportive, and I just want to say thank you. I was really unsure about this YouTube thing when I started back in August, and now I'm not unsure. I think you guys are awesome, so thank you for watching. If you're new here, please be sure to hit the subscribe button. Please, there is a topic that you want to hear me talk about for this Single Mom by Choice series. Please let me know. I'm going to do a 12-part series. This is episode 6, so I've got 6 more to go. I have a couple ideas in my head about the things that I'll talk about, including one day in the life of me and Evelyn together. I'll do one for the weekend and one for the weekday. That'll just be an offset of this series. But anyway, if there's something you really want to know about, or if you're somebody who's thinking and just considering this as an option, and there's something that's weighing on your mind or your heart, reach out and let me know, and I might do a video about it, or I might just message you privately. In any case, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.